with us live in Tel Aviv. Yossi, good to see you. So, talks of a two-state solution, as I was just saying, have been, they've been lost, haven't they, in the agony of Gaza, not to mention these huge escalation now between Israel and Iran. What is there to be hopeful of when it comes to a two-state solution?
Well, I hope that it will happen only because there is no other solution, neither for the Palestinians nor for the Israelis. And it became a kind of a consensus, an international consensus, that the solution for the Israeli-Palestinian conflict is a two-state solution. In that respect, the meeting today is not something new. What is needed, in my view, is to put the finger on something which may make this a two-state solution a viable and a feasible solution. And I believe that in the last years, the biggest obstacle is the settlements in the West Bank. Now we are speaking about more than 500,000 Israelis who live in the West Bank, if you don't count those who live in East Jerusalem, which means that no potential Israeli prime minister will take upon himself or herself the responsibility of evacuating such a number, or even if it is a smaller number, because the others may remain where they are in the context of the land swap. So I personally believe, and it is a result of the work of Palestinians and Israelis, the Palestinian side led by Hiba Husseini, that the way to implement today the two-state solution is by having a confederation between Israel and Palestine, which will allow the Israelis who would like to remain where they are in the West Bank to live there as Israeli citizens and Palestinian residents, and the same number of Palestinian citizens will be allowed to live in Israel. Now, maybe this is not a panacea. Okay. But if you don't come with a key, then just a meeting of people who believe that the two-state solution is the best solution is not enough.
Exactly. I appreciate the need to continue persistently pursuing a two-state solution, but when you have an Israeli government, a leadership of Benjamin Netanyahu that is actively destroying any possibility politically, legally, of that being the case, a leadership that is completely unreceptive to the prospect of a two-state solution, then it sounds like you're just shouting into the abyss.
No, you don't shout into the abyss, because otherwise you are actually submitting to one side or the two sides, or the leadership which doesn't want to have a two-state solution. Just to say, let us leave this idea only because Netanyahu, who in the past, as you remember, supported it, reneged on what he said in the past, and now he is against it. This is not our policy. I mean, as the two peace camps in Palestine and Israel, we will fight for the two-state solution, but we must do it in a realistic way. And the realistic way is to take the obstacles, and the issue of the 500,000 Israelis in the West Bank is something which is new. When we signed the Oslo Agreement, there were 90,000 settlers, so it was easier to remove them. Now, the question is, how are we tackle these issues? Because we already found solutions for all the other outstanding issues, Jerusalem and borders.
Yossi, I hope you don't mind a brief response if you could. Would a two-state solution have done anything to avert this current standoff with Iran?
Indirectly, yes, because the Iranians used to say, I don't know whether today it is still their policy, but I remember that in the past they would say, yes, Israel should be wiped out and there is no room for Jews living there and whatever. But they said, if the Israelis and the Palestinians agree to the two-state solution, we will not prevent them from implementing the solution. And I believe that what is happening with the Iranians is that they are exploiting the suffering of the Palestinian by saying, oh, as long as these brethren of us are suffering, we cannot recognize Israel, we cannot support peace or whatever. So we will take from them the excuse. And then I believe that it will be much more difficult for them to suggest that we should be wiped out.
Okay, understood. Yossi Berlin, pleasure to have you on Al Jazeera. Many thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, let's get the latest now on Gaza.